How's it going, everyone? My name is Case, and today on the Fast Lane, you join me in Los Angeles to take a look at the Lincoln Star concept. This concept is part of Lincoln's 100-year celebration since their founding, and of course, they have to celebrate that with something radical to show where the company wants to head in the future. This is an all-electric concept car, and it's part of how Lincoln is showing that they're going to be revealing 3 new EVs by 2025 and a 4th by the end of 2026. So the direction that they're heading is more electric vehicles, kind of like what you see here, but again, obviously this is a concept vehicle, so there are things about this that are not likely to make it to production, kind of like the subtle camera mirrors that we've been seeing on concept cars for a long time, but are relatively impossible to actually take to production. But there are other aspects of this car that are more likely to make it to production. So if we look at the front of the roof here, you can see a LiDAR sensor. A big part of upcoming vehicles is driver assistance technology, and this has plenty of it. Things like help me park and help me see. So help me see is a technology that Lincoln is claiming will let you tap into the LiDAR sensor to get a better idea of what obstacles are in front of you. And there's tons and tons of other crazy technology that they're debuting on this. They don't have any numbers for horsepower, torque, or range on this particular concept, but there are a lot of other cool features that they have showed us. So here at the front, you have a glass cover for your front. This is obviously a storage area rather than being a place where you would have an engine, because it's not gas powered, so it doesn't have an engine. So as you're driving, this electrochromatic piece of glass goes transparent, and that way you get some additional light into the passenger cabin, because the storage area in front is actually open to the rest of the vehicle. And there's tons and tons of other ways in which they've taken advantage of having a platform like this of an electric vehicle where you can really do anything with design on top of it. So this whole trunk area actually opens up. This bottom section folds down and the top glass hinges up, and that way you actually have a seat on the rear here where you can sit and enjoy being outside. And then one of my favorite features with this Lincoln Star concept is that the rear doors are rear hinged. So just like old Continentals, both doors open opposite of each other, and that opens up the interior in a really cool way. Now, this is a prototype, so because of that, the interior isn't finished. It's not something that they can show or demonstrate, but the concept has a full width screen across the entire dash. It has seats in the front that rotate around so that when you're parked, you can face your passengers. You also get a beverage chiller in the rear seats, and it's a 4-seater setup because this is meant to be more of a luxury vehicle. And you can tell that just kind of by looking at it, because this is long. This is a long machine here. And it's sort of a crossover size. It's definitely not as low as your typical sedan, but again, a very, very long vehicle. Something else with the design that's really interesting. So if you follow the light from the headlight down the hood, you can see just one unbroken line, the full length of the vehicle, which is a really, really cool styling element. And of course, the Lincoln logo lit up here on the front fender. And then I have to figure out what size are these wheels. It's got to say on the tire here somewhere. This is just absolutely huge. This is another thing that you see a lot on concept vehicles that doesn't usually make it to production. Looks like a 24-inch wheel. Yeah, absolutely massive. And it looks to be pretty aerodynamic, which is good. Good for an electric car. You want to maximize that range. Something else that's interesting about the design on this is really almost no hard body lines whatsoever. The entire side of the car is almost perfectly smooth, and that's very concept car-like. It's this minimalist, kind of unique and futuristic design. I would imagine that anything that we actually see on the road would have a hard body line of some sort somewhere on the vehicle. And you can see that the lighting does a lot of really interesting dances up here at the front. There's similarly really cool, unique lighting on the interior. The whole floorboards are lined with different lights, as well as the door cards. There's a lot there. And I really wish we could hop inside to show you some more of the features that are in this car. Other unique things, like when you open up the rear door, there's a place where you can slide in a briefcase, and that briefcase would take your devices and be able to transmit content from your devices to the screens in the back cabin. Something else that is pretty unique is that these pillars are a 3D printed metal lattice work that are actually transparent, so you can look through it, which gives you a little bit of extra lighting, and I would imagine a little bit of extra visibility too, which is nice because most modern cars are kind of hard to see out of as our pillars get bigger and bigger. So interesting things that they're working on here for design. How much of this will actually make it to production? Again, it's hard to say. They can't really talk about their future product, but if this is an indication of what's going to be coming on upcoming Lincoln electric vehicles, then there are a lot of potentially interesting and unique features to keep an eye out for. One of the most unique features of this Star concept is that when you open up this front storage area right here, this front panel actually slides out like a drawer, which in theory could give you better access to some of your luggage. If nothing else, it just looks kind of cool when it's all opened up. Something else that's unique is obviously this matte color on the body. So there we go. Just wanted you to have a quick look, a first look at this Star concept. Looking at the roof, you can see even more glass. It's pretty much glass all the way around this car. I don't know if this electrochromatic hood is set up, so the idea here is that when you park, it will go opaque so that people can't see what you have stored in there, and then as you're driving, it would become transparent so that you have more light into the cabin. So definitely an early stages prototype, but again, a good indication of the kinds of vehicles that Lincoln plans to make when they go more towards electrification and come out with a few new cars over the next couple of years. Like I said, 3 new vehicles that are all electric by 2025 and a 4th by the end of 2026. And they claim that the architecture on which this is based would be capable of either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So there will be the potential for options of having both. Anyways, let us know what you think of the Lincoln Star concept in the comments down below, and we'll catch you all in the next video.